My name is Don Phillips, and I live in Los Angeles, California. And I was born in Los Angeles, California. And I have worked with government-sponsored agencies, as well as spent my appropriate time in the military, and as a civilian, but also as a military person. I did have experiences with what we would refer to as unidentified flying objects. The question that there is some people call them advanced races. Well, the knowledge that I have of these technologies coming with the aircraft or the craft that were captured here, I didn't see the craft, nor did I see the bodies, but I certainly know some of the people that did. And of course, they're passed on now from their earthly bodies. But there was no question that there are people or beings from outside the planet that have lived here for a long time. And it isn't just something new that's been happening in the last couple of years. There's been NATO research conducted, joint research, joint meaning many different countries, and it's been documented as to who those races are and their population at that time. And this was back in the early 60s. This is when what precipitated the need for our aircraft was the result of these reports coming out from NATO. These reports were started in the late 50s. They were finished in the early 60s and disseminated to the appropriate leaders of various countries, I think, but they were kept under lock and key, if you will. And the prominence or the greater exposure or greater occurrence of unidentified flying objects became, the objects became more known. And they actually stopped. They would communicate. We have records from 1954 that were meetings between our own leaders of this country, as well as a meeting with the leaders of our country here in California. And as I understand it from the written documentation, that we were asked if we would allow them to be here and do research. And the statement I have read was that, well, how can we stop you? You're so advanced. And I will say by this camera and this sound that it was President Eisenhower that had this meeting. And it was on film, sort of like what we're doing now. Bringing it up to date, their NATO report gave that there were 12 races, and that the final summary, they had to have contacts to go to these races in order to understand who they are, what they're doing, and what they could do. And it didn't get into the contacts, but it certainly did verify that they haven't been here for just a few years, maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of years. And this was written in the text. Getting back to the technology that we might have used, the chips, the lasers, the night vision, what we call bulletproof vests, and a few others. These were all used, these were all developed. The chips, what they call the central processing units, were developed in great strides. Now, why did that happen? Why you put a few things together and do a bit of research, you think, wow, boy, we did benefit. And in several talks, these people, it wasn't because they were necessarily sharing the technology, it's because we picked it up and put it into what's called the file cabinet. And we ascertain, like, oh, are these people safe? Are these people that have come in out from outside, are they hostile? Well, if they were hostile, my own knowledge is, and feeling, I don't know about all of them, is that we could have been with their weaponry as it might be used, it could have destroyed us a long time ago, or it could have done some damage.